Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to brand new video. This is your match preview. Arsenal take on Brighton in the EFL Cup. And of course, this season, Arsenal are looking for silverware. We have a very big squad. And that is the point of having so many players. You can, try to go as far as you can in all competitions. So we're going to be talking about some changes that Mikel Arteta can make. I looked at that Brighton side against Manchester United, and under Fabian Hasler, I don't think they're a very, very good side. Now, I don't want to undermine them. Obviously, Brighton are Brighton. They have a very good style of play. They are very good players, and their recruitment is still very, very good. But I think Arsenal can beat Brighton if we are serious and progress to the next round. So in the comment box below, I want your predictions for this game. And also, most importantly, what changes would you make, or would you make any changes for this game? Brighton, obviously, being the Brighton, we know they will put a very strong side out there. If you're Brighton, you want to go as far as you can in these cup competitions. You want to go at least until the quarterfinals, semi-finals. And for Arsenal, obviously, we want to win the competition, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't rotate. That doesn't mean we shouldn't do some rotation. We're coming off the back of a very difficult game, that is Crystal Palace. We had also played in midweek against ATM. It is time to rest some players. It is also time to give some players that have not played a lot of football a chance this campaign. But based on what I've seen about Brighton so far, I am still going to go and give an Arsenal win, but I'm going to go with a 2-1 win. I think Brighton concede. They do create chances, but against Manchester United, they were absolutely very, I don't know, I can't explain it. They were really bad. It's not the Brighton I expected. It's not the Brighton I am used to. So I'm going to go and predict an Arsenal 2-1 win. Let's talk about changes, and let's talk about the importance of this game, because coming into this one, Arsenal have kept 5 clean sheets in the last 5 games. That is important. But also, we have won 7 out of our last 7 games in all competitions. That is the Champions League, the Premier League, as well as the FA Cup. The EFL Cup. So, because of that, you think, if you think about the momentum and you think about the record that we are holding and what that does to the team in terms of motivation, in terms of, keeping the spirits up. And we're also going into a very, very difficult, period. A lot of games and difficult games. Think about this. After the November international break, Arsenal will play Tottenham, Chelsea, and Bayern Munich in around there. I think there is Everton as well. So those are very difficult games. So if you have kept a run of games and you're just winning, it is okay to just keep winning. So I think Mikel should go strong, like in terms of the lineup, but also if we can rotate and just make a few rotations here and there, that would help. So in goal, I would go for Kepa. I think he's a good goalkeeper. I've said this during the summer. Many Arsenal fans didn't want him because he's a Chelsea reject. Now, for me, there is a thin line between being a Chelsea reject and a bad player. And I think Kepa is that thin line. I don't think Kepa is a bad player, but he's a Chelsea reject. He's a player that came in at Chelsea and things didn't work out. But we saw him last season at Bournemouth. I think he did a good job. Maybe I'm overestimating him, but he did a good job under Indoni Iraola. So Kepa in goal. Raya deserves some rest. This has been remarkable this season, and he should be our first choice goalkeeper, no doubt about that. So Kepa comes in for Raya to get some rest. It's as simple as that. Left back for me, it's Miles Lewis-Skelly. Calafiori has been remarkable as well this campaign. He's part of that defense that has not conceded, not really conceded, but that has not conceded a single goal in the last 5 games. Now, if you think about 5 games and you've not conceded a goal, that is like, I don't know, that is about like 400 minutes of football. And we've just not conceded a goal. In the last 3 games, Arsenal have only conceded a shot on goal against Crystal Palace. So he's been remarkable. He's overlapping. I think what Mikel Arteta has done, very well, he has understood that Timber is rock solid and really, really good at right back, but he doesn't love kind of overlapping and just making those overlapping runs. So what he has done to balance that, he has played Calafiori on the right hand side, and you can see Ricardo Calafiori. He loves to move, he loves to bump forward, he loves to go and kind of cross, just overlap over Martinelli or Trossard, and things are working out very well. But Lewis Skelly needs minutes. Lewis Skelly is the one player that has dropped out of the Arsenal starting 11 without a reason. He's not bad. Calafiori is not better than him. The only justification that Mikel Arteta has given to him is you're young and Calafiori is injury prone, so you're going to get your time. And we have seen him play in the Champions League. Have you noticed? Lewis Skelly plays against the tough opposition. Like when Mikel Arteta needs reliability, he calls on to Lewis Skelly. That shows you have a future here. We trust you, but let Calafiori play. At some point in time, this is gonna be your team. And I'm not going to lie. When I think about Lewis Skelly, I think about Theo Hernandez. I think about the greatest, right? Of at left back. He's such a talent. Centre back Piero Hincapié should be coming in. Obviously, we saw kind of a glimpse of him against Crystal Palace. He came in. Mikel Arteta was trying to hold the win, and Piero Hincapié is a substitute to Gabriel. So Piero Hincapié, I don't have a problem with him. I think he's rock solid. I think he's a good centre back. I've seen him at Leverkusen. Now, the people that have not watched him at Leverkusen or during international duty, you don't know what we have. He's such a remarkable talent, and we haven't seen enough of him. But at least what we saw against Crystal Palace, he loves dribbling. He loves being on the ball. Does he attack set pieces like the way Arsenal do? Maybe the way Gabriel does? Maybe not. But he's such a good player. And alongside him, for me, it should be Christian Mosquera. Yes, William Saliba is still having that bit of discomfort. So Christian Mosquera, who has had a very good start to life at Arsenal, I don't remember Arsenal making a cheap signing of a young player, and that player is a defender, and it comes from Spain, and I am not bothered whether they are on the pitch for 90 minutes. And that's Christian Mosquera. I don't know, he created this kind of trust in me when I first saw him. It's like looking at a beautiful person, and you think this person has all the other, everything about them is good. That is what Mosquera did. He really created trust in me. Like, I looked at him for the first time on the ball, off the ball, and I was like, we have both one hell of a centre back. At right back, I actually don't have so many options at right back, obviously, but Ben White should be coming in at right back. Honestly, again, I'm gonna say this, and it will be honest. Ben White is another player that has dropped out of the Arsenal 11 under unfair conditions, but they're inevitable. One, Timber is better than him, but that doesn't make him a bad player. That's number one. Number two, it was injury. He picks up that long-term injury. He struggles here and there, and then by the time he comes back, Julian Timber has become Arsenal's most reliable right back. But apart from that, and I see a few people kind of, I can see you right there. You're putting on a smirk on your face when I talk about Ben White. But White is a good player. He overlaps. The number of times he overlaps, for me, I love him. And I really love him at right back. At some point in time last season, but one, he was one of the best right backs in the world. So he should be starting, and of course, him starting at right back means he will be overlapping and going forward a lot, and Lewis Skelly will be underlapping and kind of staying back to shift into that midfield pivot to make a midfield two with either Zubimendi or Christian Nogard. So who should start in midfield? We've talked about the defensive line. Brighton are a very good team in midfield. Think about Ayari. Think about Carlos Baleba. Think about Vaifa. They are a good team in midfield. And I don't expect them to put up a weak midfield. They can't do that. They just can't do that. So what I'm going to think here is Rice went off in the Crystal Palace game with a bit of some bit of discomfort, and we're gonna need him over the weekend. Don't play him because we have the weekend coming up in the Premier League, and then we have Champions League next week. So Rice, Saliba, and Gabriel should rest. So this is my opinion, and I don't know whether this is right. Mikel Merino comes into the team for Declan Rice, but instead of Christian Nogard, we play Martin Zubimendi. I think Zubimendi, I really don't have a problem with Christian Nogard, but I think Zubimendi is kind of making this midfield his midfield. Everything revolves around Martin Zubimendi, and things are really taking. So Zubimendi and Mikel Merino as the double pivot. Eberechi as a steal, for me, should be playing in this game. And the thing with Eze, maybe we could rest him, but I want him to get that momentum. I want him to, to pick up speed. Honestly, I want him to pick up that momentum. So Eze, Mikel Merino, and of course, my boy, Martin Zubimendi. Up top, it should be easy. Bukayo Saka needs to start this game. Saka is way off form. I don't know whether he doesn't have much fitness. I don't know whether it's the injury that is still disturbing him. I don't know whether teams just double up on him. But he needs, to get a game where he can boost his confidence. And maybe a low-pressure game like Brighton in the EFL Cup could actually help. So for me, let's go with Bukayo Saka on the right-hand side. GYOKEREZ as well needs to boost his confidence, so he should start in this game. No doubt, no question. He should be starting in this game. I think with Victor GYOKEREZ, I'm going to give you a prediction. And this is not because I want him to score. This is because I've looked at Brighton. I'm like, these guys are bogus. Their defense is abysmal. GYOKEREZ will score. GYOKEREZ will score. Because I look at that Brighton... setup, and I look at them try to play out from the back. They're very slow. They're very sluggish. It's like they don't even know what they're doing. I think Fabian Hasler is trying to create something in them, and once it clicks, it will be dangerous. But for now, it is very dangerous for them, not for the opposition. GYOKEREZ will score in this game, and it will be through counter pressing as they try to build up. Martinelli or Trossard? Martinelli. I think Trossard starts in the Premier League. Don't have a problem with that. But in games where Martinelli can get a chance to start, just to reward him for his good performances, even when he came on against Crystal Palace, he came on for Saka. Again, he had a very, very good game. I was like, he's back, isn't he? He's really, really, really back. He's playing on both wings now. You can see he's playing closer to goal, is hungrier, is becoming more clinical. It's much better from Martinelli. So I would love him to start this game and see. One player I've not given a chance is NWANERI. And I've not given a chance to NWANERI because I want Saka to build momentum and confidence. I also think I want Eze to build momentum and confidence. But Mikel Arteta, if he doesn't play Eze and he plays NWANERI, I won't have a problem. In fact, last season, when Saka was injured, Arsenal drew 1-1 with Brighton. And remember who scored the first goal? Away, it was NWANERI. So if he starts in this game, I don't have a problem. I think Max Downman should get a chance as well. Maybe in the 80th minute, 72nd minute, you could give him a chance. If Arsenal maybe are leading 2-0 or 3-0, you can give him a chance. But this is the kind of game where you've got to test your guns that are really, really untested. Now, for me, I'm a bit like Arsene Wenger. I don't respect cup competitions, apart from the FA Cup and the Europa League and the Champions League. The EFL Cup, and Arsenal have never won the EFL Cup like in the last 20 years. And I don't care. Honestly, I really, really don't care that Arsenal have not won the Carabao Cup, whatever EFL, whatever. It used to be called the Carling Cup. I don't care. But for Mikel Arteta's team, and Pep Guardiola did this very well, if you still remember. When Pep Guardiola had just come into England, he asked himself one question. How can I build momentum in my team by winning small silverware, and then we can target the bigger ones, right? So it created a winning culture where every year, I think for the first 3 years, they won the Carabao Cup. And that was important because if this Arsenal team wins something, it's going to motivate us. It's going to, it's going to take us through the psychological difficulties and the psychological processes of, winning silverware. Because there are times when you think Arsenal should be winning silverware this season. And yes, we should. Think about the Champions League last season. Why did we fall away against PSG like that? Like, that was the worst, the worst challenge we've put up. And we were so close to silverware in a semi-final. And you play like that? Defensively, bogus. Midfield was bogus. And attack-wise, we were uninspiring. So, and for me, it comes back to the psychology. At that stage, the psychology, and that's why Madrid wins the Champions League a lot of the time. They know how to do it, right? The psychology. So I think Arsenal should try to win this. Try to win the FA Cup. If possible, try to win the FA Cup, right? If we get closer and closer, if we get some silverware before, maybe the Premier League becomes easier. Maybe we cope with the pressure of the Premier League. Maybe we cope with the pressure of the Champions League, because we are favourites for the Premier League, and we are among the top 5 favourites for the Champions League. We have the best defense in the world, the midfield a midfield that anyone can reckon with, and an attack that isn't so good, but it's not really that bad. Anyway, let me know in the comment box below what you think.